Okay, Oak Rovers, this is a video that's going to help you with your homework tonight. And what we're doing is we're evaluating expressions when we have to substitute values into the expression. So the first example says, calculate 3m plus 6 if you're giving m is equal to 2. Well, in order to do this, what I have to do, and here's what it says the answer, you have to substitute or replace the variable m with the value for m, which in this case is 2. Because m is equal to 2, what I have to do in the problem is I have to replace m with 2. And then it just becomes an order of operation problem, like PEMDAS. And you have to make sure that you show each step going down one step at a time. So what they would do first is I take 3 times 2 is 6, because multiplication is first in the order of operation. And then I go 6 plus 6 is 12, okay? And you have to do that for each problem. If you're not showing your work on each step today, you're going to have really a lot of difficulty doing the problems, okay? And it says there's a note. Make sure you follow PEMDAS when calculating the value. Okay, let's go on to the second example, and then we'll do a couple together. So it says note, you must follow PEMDAS when calculating the value, and then example 2, calculate 3x plus 8 if you're given x is equal to negative 2. So the first step is I have to substitute or replace x with negative 2. So what I've done here is I replace this x with negative 2, and then it's just an order of operation problem. And I have multiplication and addition. Those are the two operations. And what I have to do first is multiply, because that comes before addition and subtraction. Multiply and divide comes before. And if you forget your PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide, they're like twins. I do whichever comes first from left to right. And add and subtract, they're like twins. I do whichever comes first from left to right also. So I like to think of it, parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide, add and subtract. Multiply and divide are like twins. I do whichever comes first from left to right. And the same thing with adding and subtracting. So if I take 3 times negative 2, I get negative 6 plus 8. They work against each other. I have more positives than negatives, so my answer is going to be a positive 2. So let's try this on our own now and see if we can do a couple of these problems. I have 3 different problems right now. So if you want, you can stop and pause and try each of the 3. And then after you're done, you can come on and try to start up the video again, and you can check your answer. So go ahead and pause the tape right now. Okay, Oak Rovers, let's see how you did. So the first one, I have 12 minus 2p when p is equal to 2. So the first thing I have to do is replace p with 2. So if I do that, I ended up getting 12 minus 2 times 2. Then it's an order of operation problem. I have subtraction and multiplication. I have to do the multiplication first. So it's going to be 12 minus 4. And then your answer is 8. Okay? Let's try the next one and see how that goes. Hopefully you've already stopped it and finished all 3 of these, but if you haven't, pause it and do the next 2 before you watch the video. Okay, let's see how this one goes. So for this one, there's one variable again. I have to replace r because it's 9 plus 2 times r minus 6 when r is equal to 4. So what I have to do is I have to replace the r in the problem with 4 because r is equal to 4. So I write out the problem, 9 plus 2 times 4 minus 6. Now in this problem I have adding, multiplication, and subtracting. Since multiplication is the highest order of operation, I'll do that first. Everything else stays the same. 9 plus 2 times 4 is 8 minus 6. Now I have both adding and subtracting. When I have both adding and subtracting, I do whichever comes first from left to right. They're the same order of operation. They have the same level of order of operation. So I do whichever comes first. In this case, I have my adding coming first. So I'll do 9 plus 8, which is 17 minus 6. Everything else stayed the same. 17 minus 6 is going to be 11. Let's do the last one. Now the last one, I have 2 variables to substitute. Sometime today, you might have 2 or even 3 variables that you have to substitute. It's important that you substitute and follow each of these steps because today's problems are going to be more difficult than these. If you're not substituting each of these steps or showing each of these steps, you're going to make mistakes. But if you show each of the steps, you can do it. Math is kind of like climbing a ladder. If you go up one, or climbing a staircase. If you go up one step at a time, math is really easy. But if you try and skip 2 or 3 steps at a time, by the time you get to the top of the stairs, you're going to be really, really worn out or tired, or you might even trip. So what you got to do is make sure that you do one step at a time, because if you don't, you're going to have problems today on the homework. So let's substitute the problems in there. A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3. So A becomes 2 plus 6 times B is 3 divided by 2. Now in this problem, I've got to do this whole part first before I add the 2. So let's figure out what the top would be. There, it's 6 times 3. So it's going to be 2 plus 6 times 3 is 18 divided by 2. And then I have to figure out this. I have to get rid of that division bar. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So it's 2 plus 9. Can't see it there. There you go. So it's 2 plus 9. And then 2 plus 9 is also 11. So today while you're working on these problems, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be in the back. I'm going to have you work on the problems. I'm going to call you guys up individually one by one. And what you're going to do is you're going to come back and sit by me and show me how to do a problem or two. And then you'll go back and I'll call another person. That's the way today's class is going to work. Tomorrow we're going to play around the world using substitution. So we need to make sure that we're really good at it, and then probably have a little quiz at the end of the period. So I'll start up. You can start up on the homework, and I'll call up on you guys individually. But I want to make sure you watch the video first before you start on the homework. And I want to see you do a couple. Each person is going to come back and do a couple problems with me. So I hope you have a good day, and I hope this helped you with substitution when solving expressions.